My hair's a mess, my life's a mess, my studio's a mess. I think it's all a reflection of each other. And I'm here to take you along on a little studio spring clean reset. Now, Q1, in terms of life, was not as I had planned. And I think it is drip fed into my creative space and started to reflect itself in a chaotic mess. And I would like to reset, realign, and just refresh for the season ahead because I actually have some very exciting things coming up. So what better than to nurture my creative space? Come with me. I'm going to share with you some tips. This is almost like a ritual ahead of every new season that I like to do. Tidy space, tidy mind. Give yourself that breathing room to come up with new ideas. It really does have a positive effect on your creative practice. And we're going to go through some tips of what I like to do when I cleanse my space, ready for a new project or a new season. And hopefully you can pick up some useful little things along the way as I bare my soul to you and show you the genuine state of my creative space. So step one is a general declutter, which is fine, which is kind of what I do weekly, if not more frequently than that. But the problem is I just shove things away. I've got a cupboard I am ashamed of that is literally just one of those cupboards. I've got a Notions box and organization that's just overflowing. It's everywhere. And the thing I'm most embarrassed about is just the general state of this studio. You've got flint flying around. I come in and I leave from the farm. There's actually quite a bit of dust everywhere. So I want to clean, but I also want to go a little bit deeper. And no, this isn't a caffeine fix. This is an empty tin because I'm going to get through all my Notions and I'm going to start getting rid of things that otherwise I hoard. And I think as a creative, we are all so capable of hoarding. There is like a 5 centimeter strip of bias tape that I'm like, I could use this. Well, Gil, it's been over a decade and there ain't no use for it. So let's just get real with ourselves and work through it. There's 3 main sections I want to tackle today. There is the table, there is the cupboard of doom, and then there is my very outdated inspiration behind me. The hair's going up and I'm going to tackle this cupboard. And I feel like it's going to be one of those things that gets much worse before it gets better. So trust the process. So I'm going to pull everything out. I'm going to get through it and I'm going to try and rearrange everything back in there. So let's do that. So this is just shelf 1 of the cupboard. Now this is filming stuff. I've got a pile of clothes, whether that is previous samples or garments I want to alter. I've got Notions, like these massive boxes that belong to this foot-operated press machine. And look at this. Look at the mess. Oh, guys, this is embarrassing. Then we've got my sewing supplies, lots of threads that were just thrown in loose, an amazing bundle from YKK, a previous challenge sponsor of the 3-day design challenge, and my sewing box. Bits and bobs. So yeah, and this old sewing machine that belonged to my mum that I literally just use for buttonholes, but it is unmatched. It's broken, it's stuck together with duct tape, but I will not use anything else. So the goal is to rearrange this. I think I need to give this a little hoover and I will put my filming stuff in as priority. I really need easy access for that. I want to figure out how to just remove these all together. So these are actually empty. And I think this is a classic sign of hoarding. I bought some studio lights to upgrade my video quality, which you may have seen are actually perched on my overhead rig on my cutting table. But they were a fair bit of money. They were like, all in all, I definitely paid over a couple £100 for the setup. And so I just think, keep the box? I don't know. I feel like this is a coaching session and I'm just working through it all out loud. Filming stuff, going in. Also, is this me just highlighting how much of a lazy girl I am? This is meant to fit into this for storage, and I just can't. I think you're meant to like twist it in a figure of 8 and then what, put that in here? It just doesn't seem to fit. And I battle with it every time, and I'm like, it's just so much easier to store like this and keep this if I ever figure it out. Oh no, I'm hoarding. Oh, this is my old overhead rig. So I need to sell this, and I also need to sell this. So that can go in a nice little vintage pile. Okay, I feel better about keeping the boxes now. So, filming stuff. I don't want any clothing to go in there, so I guess the next thing, oh, sorry, you're sat on it, is going to be my main sewing stuff. Okay, so this isn't a new day. I was getting warm. I've literally done one shelf. I'm going to be a puddle by the end of this. But it's now time to kind of go through my threads, because thread can go bad, especially if you keep it in the sun. You'll be surprised at how quick it can deteriorate. And I've had some of these for years. So I'm just going to do a really basic snappage test. If they hold their strength, they're good to go. And I'll try and also arrange them in colour as well. But I've just got so many little bits and bobs that I just very seldom use. So maybe this is a great opportunity for me to cleanse that as well. These, for example, I know that I've inherited from my nan. They are silk thread. Oh, did you see how easy that snapped? I love you, Nan, but I think they've got to go. I'm never going to use these. These are past their best. So however beautiful they are, however gorgeous, I think this one is for the bin. And I think I'm going to have a little think about colours that I don't often sew with, like this here, and I might pop some threads in my donate bag for my friend and the school kids. So let me work through all that. Sorry, Nan. My threads with a yellow casing spool are Mariflex, which is actually a really good thread that stretches when you are sewing with knits. So really handy to be able to tell the difference between a normal spool colour and my Mariflex colour. This is actually quite satisfying because I can tell the ones that I've inherited quite easily, and for them to snap that much, I'm not telling you to throw out sentimental items, but I'm never going to be able to use them for their original intended purpose. So they're just taking up space. And ultimately, because I've done all of my colours inside the DPL Atelier, we look into our most complementary colour palettes for our unique complexion and undertones. I also know that unless it's for a client, there are certain colours that are not going to complement my skin tone. Will I sew with them? Probably not. They can be donated. And then, of course, it's super handy if all your thread tails are all over the shop to just wrap around your spool. You can tuck your thread ends round into that. And then for those that don't have it, I just use a little bit of masking tape, to be honest, to keep that all in place. I've got a few samples of previous PDF patterns, like the glitch shirt here, the Gemini blouse here and here. I don't tend to wear these. However, if I'm ever creating content, I feel like I need some of my own designs to reach for. And so these are just samples, but it's nice to be able to have a variation rather than just the 1 or 2 versions I have in my personal wardrobe. So at the moment, I feel like I want to keep these. Things I'm going to get rid of. This has been in my amendment pile for many a moon. I was going to replace it with leather from a tailored coat that my mum used to own, just to try and give it a bit of a sentimental upcycle, but this one has to be cleared out. I will keep this because this is a half sample of a tailored jacket that I made in university, doing all of the kind of tailoring techniques with the basting stitches. And it's just a really nice, number one, it's a nice reference point, but this one's quite sentimental because it's obviously from the time where it all started. And yeah, it's always nice to refer back to. Because it's a half sample, I can really open the lining at the centre back and get on in there and have a look at all of the internal structure. And if I'm teaching, especially with my students in the atelier, it's just a really good reference point in order to see all components come together on a nice tailored piece. So shelf number 2 is all admin, papers, art supplies. And as I was pulling stuff out, these are my degree papers, my qualifications. I found some beautiful photos of my mum. I mean, sorry, fashion icon much. Absolutely love. And I actually think that some of these are gonna now make the new inspiration wall. There is no reason for me to keep my beautiful mother tucked in the cupboard. Ha! See? I kept the box and now I can sell this on. Yes! Look at this! I keep all my old planners and we've got some cool designs in here. This is the Gemini blouse. This is where it all started. Okay, so I realised, I don't know how long it's been. It might genuinely have been about 2.5 hours and I've just been working on the cupboard. But guys, I am so happy. So much more space and happy with how that's looking. That is so much more organised. I did have a few things that used to belong to my mum and my nan. And yeah, I have no feeling either way on me relinquishing it to make space and actually make sure that my creative space is intentional and filled with things that have purpose. The cupboard was an ordeal. The table is just a little bit of rearranging because I use this daily. It was already quite organised. This is how we're looking. I've donated quite a substantial amount to my friend. So finishing off my table, I've just rolled up large lengths of fabric for toiling, and I hung that over the banister of my stairs because it was such a long length, and I rolled it up and that gave me the kind of space I needed for it to not crease. It's actually a lot more space saving to roll your fabrics. Just like if you're packing for a holiday, you can squeeze more in your suitcase when you roll it. And now I'm just sorting through all the loose leaf pattern pieces on my table. How I tend to store them is just in a manila envelope like this. I'll label it. If I'm doing Gold Star, then I will also, date it, have the version on it, have whatever information I need. Same with pattern pieces. You want to include your seam allowance, the size, your grain line, your notches, all of the information. It's a pet peeve of mine, and yet I'm still guilty of doing it. In 3 months' time, if you've got a random pattern piece flying around and you don't know what it is or belongs to, that's when labeling really helps you. And then this is my pattern box. So once they're in a manila envelope, I'll just kind of slide them in here. You might be surprised that it's not bursting at the seams. That's because if I just spin you round, they're my pattern blocks. And so not forgetting a lot of what I do, I digitize as well. And so once I've got it digitized, it lives on a database, on a digital database. So in terms of physical patterns, I'll have a few master copies here, but anything worthwhile will be traced as a block, and anything beyond that will be digital on a hard drive. So label every pattern piece, pop it in a manila envelope. Anything that's a live working project is on my pegboard there. And then these are obviously just tucked away for storage. So I'm going to keep it real with you. I've been filming for over 5 hours and I didn't actually expect this to take as long as it did, but I really got into the deep flow of organising my space, of decluttering and cleansing my energy and my area and my environment. And I think that is better than any polished tutorial could have been. I hope that you have been able to take away a couple of aha moments from this, but ultimately I'm just inviting you on my journey, and I am going to leave this inspiration board blank because the next time I give you a video update on my studio space, it's going to be a transformation one. I've invested a little bit of money. Oh, panicking. I've invested a little bit of money in a new backdrop that I'm going to set up in a new computer because I need something to keep up with all of the demands of being a designer, and just a new space and new energy with new inspiration, making way for all of the things I've got coming this season, from May's 3-day design challenge to a brand new shirt framework cycle inside the DPL Atelier to a really exciting guest expert masterclass where I'm inviting a photographer to teach me and my members how to take decent photos of our makes for social media, because I don't know about you, but I genuinely have the camera skills of a turnip, as I'm sure you've just found out through watching this video. But ultimately, my friend, this is what it is. It's not about aesthetics, it's about resetting. And so it might be rough around the edges, but I would like to thank you for joining me on the journey. And if you would like more news and events, if you want to kind of take a peek at anything I've just mentioned there, then click the links down below for more information. And for now, stay safe, keep creative, and I'll catch you on the flip side.